Hello. In this small presentation, I am going to talk about still life. Still life is an art genre where certain objects are kept on a surface, which is painted by the artists around it. This is often taught in the beginning of their education in the colleges or in the private institutions. You could see still life is taught as an elementary act of acquiring skills of painting or drawing. But still life has a different meaning altogether. Today, whenever we talk about still life, generally this kind of an image come to our mind. This is what we understand as still life. But still life has a different role or had a different role in the ancient times, even in the Roman and Egyptian times, or all the kinds of civilizational times. And if you go back further, you can see even in the cave paintings, in certain areas, you could see the objects and the utensils, or even the food items that these people of that time used, painted in a certain fashion. Here, it is a Roman painting where food, fruits, and kind of utensils that they had used is arranged in one way. It is a part of a larger painting, larger fresco, which is a wall painting. And when we come to the Renaissance time, you can see artists developing this genre further and bringing their lifestyle, bringing a certain set of objects like fruits, then game as in like whatever they hunt and get. Hunting is also part of showing their authority over the land. So all these things are brought into one single painting to show the affluence of life that they had led. And by the Renaissance time and later, the Dutch painters, especially artists like Jan Wienings, they further developed it and perfected it in certain sense. After that, ideas started pouring in this genre. Ideas like death. A set of still life painting developed, and in Dutch language, it's called still leven. That means in English it is still life, which is a sort of memento mori, which is a Latin word that means you also will die. It is a reminder of death. There always will be, as you see in this still life painting, you can see a skull, then an hourglass, a lamp, book, musical notes, and things like that. So this is basically to tell the world or the onlooker, whoever sees this painting, that whatever kind of achievements you have in life, you may be a great scholar, you may be having great food and wine around you to consume, you may be a musician, you may be anything in the world, you must have acquired so many things in this from this world or in this world, but your time is running out. That is what is shown in this hourglass. And also this light, this candle light, which will be over, which will be extinguished by time at any time, and you will turn into a mere skull. The skull is always a reminder of death, the immortality of the human beings. And also, like, hourglass is one thing that shows you that the measurement of time is needed only when people have something to do within a particular time. If you see this German painter, Hans Holbein, Holbein traveled all over Europe, and Holbein developed his career along with the Renaissance period and later, because that was the time like expedition was happening in a large scale. Rich merchant and rich people, rich feudal lords and rich merchants were sending people all over to explore the world. That is how America was discovered, or African countries were discovered, etc., etc. We hear something like that, expeditions, and which caused the colonial, period. So you can see here there are two ambassadors. Holbein paints two ambassadors, and you could see a sort of still life there. You see a musical instrument, astronomical instruments. There is a globe and the expedition and excavation instruments, etc. So that means it shows a different kind of world order where people are traveling abroad and people are taking the, or this painting is called ambassadors. So they are taking the message of the feudal lord, or the merchant, or the king, or the Christian king, and they are taking this world over, this message all over the world, and they have become the ambassadors of particular right, particular political right and wealth. And they have this acquisitions, like they have music, they have books, they have everything. Globe is also a kind of a world, the conquering of the world. And one interesting thing that you can see in this painting is this particular skull. This is a distorted skull. You can search it in Google or places like that. You can see this is a distorted skull. So this is a skull image that is also showing that whatever achievement you do or gain in this life after expeditions, explorations, and conquering the countries, setting up colonies, things like that, you will end in death. You will die. That is the basic message that you get. Now, like when we come to 19th century, Paul Cézanne also used this still life as a method, or as a way to tell the world, or tell the art world, that impressionism is something that captures light on its surface, the surfaces of the object. And also these are all geometrical shapes like cubes and circles and things like that. To explain that, he used this time-tested concept as a concept of still life. Now we come to Vincent van Gogh, a post-impressionist painter. He didn't paint a still life. Definitely, he has painted his bedroom with certain objects, light, and other objects like chair, bed, light. But technically we don't call it as still life. But he painted this memento mori, still a part of the still life, a skull, a smoking skull, or smoking skeleton. So that also reminds the people of death. You can see Pablo Picasso in his cubistic style. You can see the skull of a bull, and also a light, a lamp. Lamp shows that one day, or after some time, when the oil is over, the fire of, or the light will be extinguished. So death is always reminded. Whatever wealth you acquire, you will die. This is a reminder. So still life is not just about flourishing or composition or acquisition, but it is also a reminder of death. And Sam Taylor Wood, that's a British artist, a contemporary of Damien Hirst, she did a small video of for 5 minutes, where a composition of fruits kept on a tray, which is actually shot in a real-time video and compressed it. So you can see beautiful fruits kept there, and slowly it is disintegrating, decomposing, fungus is coming into it, etc., etc. She did another called the dream, the little dream, a rabbit and a fruit, and she let it rot there. So slow decomposition, or a slow, decaying of a body or biological body is seen there. And this is how it comes to turn, the rabbit turns out to be. And maybe like she was referring to Joseph Boyus, who actually holds a rabbit, a dead rabbit in his lap or in his hands, and say that how I can explain things to a dead rabbit. So art historical cross connections and all. Like, so you can see how the idea of still life move from one place to another in art. And here, the famous work of Damien Hirst, which is titled as the idea of death in the mind of someone living, the impossibility of death. It is not the idea, the impossibility of death in the mind of someone living. So a living person can never think about death, but what could be that concept? What could be that concept? So when people see the shark pickled in this formaldehyde solution kept in a vitrine, people start thinking about death and life, the comparison between death and life, or actually the aspects of life. And Damien Hirst did this diamond-studded skull, which is sold for millions of dollars. So he here also, when a skull is made into a precious object, still you think about life, your glorious life, which will end up as skull. We have our own Subodh Gupta, who has made a skull as a memento mori, and this is by Patrick Caulfield, an artist, an American artist who passed away in 2005, who devoted his life for making still life paintings. So today also we have so many artists who do still life painting, still life installations, still life videos, etc., etc. But we can see that it started off as a composition of things, then it started acquiring ideas, and it became uh, uh, a symbol, a symbolic representation of life and its various facts and the eventuality that every human being or every organic being has to face one day or the other, the great leveler, death. Thank you.